Devlin! Devlin! Over here! Devlin Storm hadn't even left the building, and the shouts had already begun. He stepped out into the crisp, cold winter air, nodding his thanks to the doorman. A crowd of reporters stood beside the path, bundled up in ski jackets and furry hats, but still shivering. A line of red cords stopped them from approaching him, as well as a burly security guard, but they all thrust their microphones his way. "Any word from the conference?" yelled one woman. "Where will you be on the rich list this year?" said another.
"Any celebrity scandals?"
shouted a man.
"Sure," he called back to the guy. "Me, like always."
He turned away from them, pulling up the collar of his Brioni suit against the bracing wind that cut through the Royal Alpine Luxury Resort. The mountains were all around him, a ring of giant peaks so covered in snow that they were almost invisible against the gray sky. Patches of dark forest stood out here and there, along with the lines of the cable cars and ski lifts that carried people up from the resort to the runs. All in all, it looked pretty bleak. Certainly not the kind of place you'd expect to pay £11,000 a night to stay in. But this was one of the most exclusive resorts on the planet. Nestled in the foothills above one of Switzerland's picture postcard towns, you could barely walk 3 paces here without bumping into British royalty, American billionaires, or European bankers. Especially this weekend, with the annual Apex Club retreat taking over the whole resort. Half of the world's wealth had to be right here, shivering in the unseasonably cold February weather.
"Hey, Devlin!"
called a voice behind him. He ignored it, thinking that one of the journalists had broken free to chase him. He heard his name again and turned back, a dark look on his face. When he saw who it was, the scowl turned into a smile.
"Blake, I didn't think you were here this year," he said, stopping and turning.
Blake Fielding, billionaire founder of social media site Heartbook, jogged the last few feet, stopping beside Devlin and wrapping his arms around himself, bouncing up and down on his toes. Unlike most of the other billionaires in the resort, Blake wasn't dressed up. He wore a woolly sweater and jeans, with a quaint little bobble hat on his head, but that was his thing. Preppy and approachable.
"Yeah,"
Blake replied, his teeth chattering.
"I wasn't going to be here, but my board practically forced me out of the building. Told me I needed a holiday, and this retreat's the only place I can properly wind down. Can't argue with the board now, can we?"
Devlin laughed.
"They wield the real power," he said. "That's the truth."
Blake agreed.
"How are you?"